Okay, so the question I have for you guys is, when will my luck end? Because I'm still in first. This is a whole 2 days in a row now that I'm actually in first place. Oh, what a day for a daydreaming boy. How about that? So let's check it out last night. Pretty good day all around. Increased my lead to almost 20, about 19 and a half. So I don't know how I did that, but I did it. Patrick Kane had an assist, 4 shots on goal. Brad Marchand had a goal, power play point. Brayden Point, he had 1.4 fantasy points, but he didn't score. Patrice Bergeron had a goal, 2.4 points. Steven Stamkos had 2.5. And then the defense, my defense played really well too. Kevin Shattenkirk again. He didn't score, but he still had 1.6 points because of all the blocks. Man, these blocks are worth a half a point each. And Justin Faulk, who I was thinking of dropping for, Terry, but what's his first name? I'm not even going to try. Terry from Anaheim. And actually, Evan Bouchard I was thinking of as well, because Justin Faulk just hasn't been scoring. But he had 5 blocks last night. 3 shots on goal, 3 hits, 3.1 points. And he was my leading scorer last night, and he didn't score. So you got to like that. So again, 5 blocks. Mario Ferraro, who I just picked up, had 4 blocks. He had 2.1 fantasy points. He didn't score either. Shattenkirk had 1.6. He didn't score either. You know, man, blocks are just such a huge stat. I don't know if you guys are playing in similar leagues where blocks are half a point, but man, they're I just love defensemen, because if you get a guy that blocks a ton of shots, I mean, at least so far they seem to be just as good as a solid forward. I did have Jordan Kyrou on the bench, unfortunately, and he had 3.9, so unfortunately I did that. I actually thought I started him, but obviously I didn't, so that was a bummer. But other than that, hey, got 21 points in 10 games out of my skaters. And then Jordan Binnington picked up another win, 2 goals against, 39 saves, so he got me 7.8 points. I did notice Marc-Andre Fleury, I think he had 42 saves last night. Chicago beat Pittsburgh in a shootout. So yeah, so he played really good too. He was the goalie that I got rid of for Mario Ferraro. Was it a couple days ago? I don't even remember at this point. Time flies when you're playing fantasy hockey, you know what I mean? But yeah, so 7.8 points from him. So overall, 29 points. And yeah, so I'm up about 19 and a half. I don't expect that to last. I don't expect to be in the top 2 or 3, to be honest. So we'll see what happens. So today, John Tavares, he's day-to-day. Not sure if he'll play. Toronto plays at Philadelphia today. And Cam Atkinson, oh yeah, that's Philly as well. Cam Atkinson, Philly, plays at home against Toronto. He's on my bench right now. So is Filip Forsberg, but he's on IR. Erik Karlsson still on protocols. I pick him up. He has two bummer games, and then he's been out for the rest of the season so far. So yeah. I wonder what I should do with Filip Forsberg. Should I start him? Who would I start him over? Or no, not Filip Forsberg. Excuse me. Cam Atkinson. I don't know if I should start him though. What do you think? Should I start him? Should I just... Is it Troy Terry? Might be Troy Terry. Maybe I should just pick up Troy Terry. He did have a decent game on the 6th for 2 points, but he hasn't done the best. I mean, he's got 20 fantasy points in 10 games. I mean, you know, I got to give him a break. He had a heck of a start. These are his numbers from the first few games. 2.7, 1.5, 5.1, 2.7, 4.5. And then in his last few games, it's 0.8, 0.2, 0.2, 0.6. And then he had 2 at Washington. So, you know, he was, you know, lighting it up pretty good in the beginning of the year, but he's kind of tailed off a little bit, which obviously you'd expect. But again, 20 points in 10 games. I mean, if he keeps up that pace, that'll be a heck of a year. So I don't know. I'm going to keep him on my bench. I'll be complaining about that tomorrow. Don't you worry. So yeah, no goalies today either. But I'm curious if I should pick up some guys. I mean, you know, now that Justin Faulk had the 5 blocks and he had 3.1 points, I don't really want to get rid of him. But at the same time, there's some guys in the waiver wire that are just, you know, they're interesting to say the least. Let me see if I can look at it over here. I got a few on the watch list, but Evan Bouchard's one of them. I think Troy is it Troy Terry? I hope I'm not pronouncing that wrong. Let's see. Yeah, it's Troy Terry. So Troy Terry's on the waiver wire. Lucas Raymond's on the waiver wire. I know I've mentioned Artem Zub before, defenseman from Ottawa. Yeah, Troy Terry, Evan Bouchard, Lucas Raymond, Artem Zub. So those are my 4 guys. I have Jared McCann on this list as well, but I'm not so sure I should get him. But yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? I probably should get Troy Terry. I mean, he scored again last night, I believe. But I just don't know how to get rid of, who to get rid of. I mean, my defense, he is a forward, but my defense is pretty good. Forwards are pretty good. I mean, I guess you could, would you get rid of Troy Terry for Cam Atkinson? Or get rid of Troy Terry, add Troy Terry for Cam Atkinson maybe? Something like that. I've been wondering about Brock Nelson. I know he's done well in the last few games, but I've been thinking about Brock Nelson, kind of dropping him, maybe Cam, but I don't know. That's the problem. And even Jordan Kyrou, like, I'm thinking, okay, well, what should I do with him? You know, he had 3.9 points. He had a goal, an assist, power play points, half point for every power play point you get in this league, and 4 shots on goal. So. And they beat Winnipeg 3-2. Kyle Connor is a heck of a player, isn't he? I have so much to learn in this. It's actually sad from where I am. I'm at the total bottom because I didn't even know who Kyle Connor was. Like, you know, at least in the beginning of the season, probably even a few games after that. So, yeah. So, anyways, hopefully I can stay in the lead for as long as possible, and then once I'm out, that's going to be it for me. I'm sure I won't see first place ever again. But, yeah, so I'll figure out if I got to get Troy Terry or Lucas Raymond. I'll probably regret it if I don't get them, so I gotta get them. I just don't know who to drop yet. So we'll see what happens. But thanks again for checking out the video. Hope it wasn't too long. Hope I didn't bore you to death with all the decision-making processes. And I really appreciate checking me out, and hope to see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.